every summer we have Stewardship Sunday, and like any family, or a parish family, we're required by the church to give you an account of how we're doing with stewardship. And we have a wonderful finance committee, and I'm delighted that the chair of the finance committee, Will Harris, this is his third Mass. He's got one more, and he's been here all weekend. And I gave Will his first communion a few years ago. So thank you so much for being here, Will. Okay.
Thank you, Pastor. Most of what I've learned about our Catholic faith, I've learned here at the St. Catherine Drexel Church. Acting as the chairman of your parish finance committee has made me a witness to your sacrifice and your generosity. This year, I wanted to share with you some of the things which inspire me to give. Last summer, we had a priest from Ghana with us for a short period. His name was Father John. I had a great discussion with him about his church in Ghana. Despite radically different income levels and cultural differences, folks that attend his church feel similarly to what you do when it comes to donations. They understand, just like you do, that without your charity and support, the spiritual and practical functions of the church could not continue. The average weekly income of a member of his parish is $9 per week. Instead of driving to church, most of them walk to church, a journey that could take them up to 4 hours. Out of the $9 they make per week, they donate around 80 cents to the church. And when I asked Father John why they're motivated to donate, I found out that their reasons for donating were identical to yours. I only wish our expenses were as low as they are in Ghana. On repairs and supplies alone, we incurred $54,000 in expenses last year. It's expensive to run an organization of this size, and without your help, we couldn't do it. Donations this year came from routine weekly support and individual gifts to the church. Our online giving has also continued to increase and now makes up around 6% of our weekly income, helping the church meet its goals. Matthew Kelly is Father Cole's favorite Australian philosopher, and he has this to say about work. The meaning of work is not to make money or be fun or entertaining. If we make money and enjoy our work, that is all the better. But the primary reason to work is to develop character and virtue. So wherever you are and whatever your work is at this time of your life, give it your all. If it's a man's job to collect the trash and he does it well, works hard and pays attention to the details of his work, with every passing hour he will become a better version of himself. From this perspective, all honest work has intrinsic value. Work is an opportunity not just to make money, but also to invest in ourselves. A friend of mine, who is a parishioner here, has an important job which requires him to travel internationally on a regular basis. He works for a corporation which is based outside of the United States. As an important member of the team at this company, he is allowed to fly first class whenever he is required to travel. Like me, this person has been a witness to many of the wonderful things going on here at St. Catherine Drexel. This fall, he was at a rare meeting with the CEO of his company in Moscow, Russia. During this meeting, the CEO told him how much he appreciated the work he was doing. And the CEO asked him if there was anything he could do for my friend. And my friend said, yes, there is. You see, I'm a member of this wonderful church called St. Catherine Drexel in New Hampshire. What I would like to do is switch from flying first class to flying coach and have the company donate the difference to the church. The CEO replied, of course. Now let me tell you, on a 14-hour flight, there is a big difference in having the luxury of seat 2A and the sacrifice of being crammed between a screaming kid on the left and a guy with a terrible cough in seat 43J. And I can't help but think of my friend and the sacrifice he makes to the church when doing nothing at all would be so easy. Many companies have matching gift programs that are hardly ever taken advantage of. I would urge you to check with the company or organization you work for to find out if they offer anything. Donations to our general fund were slightly below what we budgeted for the year, but still very strong at $501,000. This year we had 4 weekends in a row of terrible winter storms in February, which prevented many people from attending Mass. If it wasn't for those folks who donate online or through other electronic means, the situation could have been worse. We appreciate this group of parishioners who use electronic means as a method of donation. This year, I'm also pleased to report that we finished the year with a reduction in expenses below our budget for the year. Our expenses totaled $495,000. Every effort is made here to make sure we are managing our expenses appropriately. As a result, we finished the year with a surplus of $6,000. The totals on the revenue side and expense side were within about $5,000 of last year, so we had a very similar year. Our general fund funds the daily operation of the church. Those general funds are not used at all towards the debt. We watch the general fund closely to ensure that we have enough resources to pay for things from candles, utility bills, payroll, and more. Paying for the original construction of the church is still the largest burden placed on us as a finance committee and as a parish. When I spoke to you last year, the church's debt had dropped to the near $1 million mark. At that time, we were praying that members of the parish would continue to help us reduce our debt using these pink envelopes right here. 1 year later, we find ourselves owing only $787,000. Our prayers are being answered by your generosity. The pink envelopes are the vehicle we use to pay down our debt and pay the $36,000 in interest due each year. Another great inspiration for me has been the folks that I know that make substantial contributions to the church despite being retired or on fixed income. These folks understand that because we're managing our debt appropriately, it allows us to maintain other functions of the church without disruption or discontinuation of service. The person who's on a fixed budget with limited income and still makes a significant contribution is one of the heroes here at St. Catherine Drexel. A large block of our donations comes from retired members of the parish, and we want you to know that we understand your sacrifice and we appreciate it. Without you, all of this would not be possible. When I think about the long, difficult economic period we've been through and the momentous effort made by everyone in the parish, I can't help but remember the last day of a major hike we did last year with the kids. The kids were 9, 7, and 5. My wife, Sarah, my daughter, Ella, Murphy, who's sitting right over there not paying attention, and, and my son, Finbar, started our hike at the very beautiful Waterton Lake in Alberta, Canada. Our route would take us back into the United States, across the Continental Divide, over Brown Pass into Glacier National Park, winding up at the end of Bowman Lake, near the North Fork of the Flathead River in Montana. We did it backpacking over 3 nights and 4 days. By our 4th day, we had had a fantastic adventure and we were right on schedule. On that last day, every member of the family had earned their stripes, and we had around 7 miles left to go. A van was picking us up at the trailhead at 1 p.m. My daughter Ella, who had led the way for most of the hike, wasn't fazed a bit. She continued to lead the hike and never complained. My daughter Murphy, who is our most enthusiastic hiker in the family, had a great attitude and was ready to go. Unfortunately, Murphy's feet and ankles were wrapped in medical tape to cover blisters which had developed earlier in the hike. Despite being in some discomfort, she forged ahead and didn't complain. For the first time on the hike, my son Finn asked to be carried for a little while. Despite having had a blast on our hike, each of us was ready for the hike to conclude. Amazingly, we could see the beach at the other end of Bowman Lake all day. What we were seeing was a rare mirage-like effect from the other side of the lake. We could actually see children playing on the beach, even though we still had a long hike ahead of us. It would be like being in Wolfboro and seeing kids on the beach at Alatoya. As we put one foot in front of the other, the beach never seemed to get any closer, and my 65-pound backpack never seemed to get any lighter. It was at this moment that I began to think about debt reduction at St. Catherine Drexel. As we near the end of financing the original construction of the church and the end of a long, difficult economic period, some of us are like my daughter Ella, having never missed a beat and still going strong. Some of us are like my daughter Murphy, hanging in there with a great attitude but with medical tape covering up her blisters. And some of us will make it to the end and have to be carried a little ways. With just under $800,000 left to go, we still have 20% of the hike ahead of us. but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel or the beach at the end of the journey. So let's remember that the work we do in our secular lives is an opportunity for us to develop character and virtue and be better versions of ourselves. As we enter the last period of debt repayment, let's remember my friend in seat 43B and the parishioners in Ghana waking up at 4 a.m. for their walk to Mass, and do what Ella, Murphy, and Finn did on that last day and finish the hike and finish paying off this debt. Every time you generously contribute to debt reduction, we get one step closer. When I started my speech, I said that I would share with you some of the things which inspire me to give to the church. So before I let you go, I have one more story for you, which will help illustrate what inspires me to give. When Jesus was 12 years old, Mary and Joseph realized that he was missing from the group. The family had traveled to Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover. The trip from Jerusalem back to Nazareth was approximately 80 miles. Thinking that Jesus was traveling with other family members, Mary and Joseph realized that he was missing at the end of the first day on the return trip. That must have been about 26 miles away from the city. Mary and Joseph turned around and covered the distance of a marathon the next day back to Jerusalem. Once they were in Jerusalem, they spent another full day searching the city without finding him. As a parent, the idea of having a lost child is a very scary prospect. Can you imagine Mary, the Holy Mother of God, and St. Joseph searching the city? I can only imagine the sense of tribulation and desperation that I would have been feeling, and I wonder if they felt the same way. But finally, on the third day, they found Jesus. And where did they find Jesus? Where did they find him? They found him in the temple. Mary and Joseph found Jesus in church. When you think of the St. Catherine Drexel Church, consider Mary and Joseph searching for Jesus. We know that there are a great multitude of people who are searching. And fortunately, like Mary and Joseph, many of these folks are finding Jesus right here at this church, at the St. Catherine Drexel Church. And that's another one of the reasons that I'm compelled to donate. More information about our finances can be found on the back of the bulletin. And I lost my page there. We'll be bringing back the mid-year report this winter, where we do a year-to-year comparisons. And anyone who would like more detailed financial information, I will be sitting right over there at the end of that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So you can see we're in good hands, and I just want you to know, once this debt is paid off, what we'd like to do is become a tithing parish, so that 10% of everything that comes in would go out to help other churches, other organizations that need our help. And that's very biblical to tithe. But I am so grateful. I don't deserve you to. I don't. So thank you so much for all that you do and who you are.